The Sanyo brand didn't appear on American store shelves until 1970, so this radio, from at least 10 years earlier, I shouldn't even have. Well, too bad, because I like it and I'm keeping it. Some collectors aren't so fond of the transistor radios that are in a horizontal configuration like this one, preferring the vertical shirt pocket style. But what's not to love about this little Sanyo? What a beauty! Sanyo was doing underpainting with gusto right from their earliest transistor models. We've got 3 colors underpainted here in the escutcheon, plus the clear areas for the dial number to show through. Nice. On the back, this model has an external speaker jack and a jack for external power. The jack for the earphone is on the side by the volume knob. It says earphone 1 and 2. But I can't really tell if what we have here are 2 earphone jacks, or whether this is one of those large 2-pronged jacks for a single earphone, as we saw on some of the earliest transistor radios from Japan. I couldn't even tell which it was when I opened up the radio. We'll do that in a moment, and maybe you can. We see this radio as a channel master sometimes, with the 6501 model number on it. While the Sanyo brand wasn't sold in the U.S. until 1970, Sanyo products were, including this stylish mid-century modern bookshelf stereo and these very popular tape recorders with a kind of joystick control, like a gear shift. These Sanyo products were branded Craig. And these images are from a video on this channel that shows this entire Craig catalog, full of 8-track players for the home and car, big reel-to-reel recorders, clock radios, car stereo, and even televisions. Not to mention some very cool transistor radios. But before there were Craig transistor radios, there were the Channel Masters. I did a video recently about a Sony radio from 1972 that had Sanyo transistors in it. Well, this is a Sanyo radio with Sony transistors in it. It's a 6-transistor. Now, what about this, the Channel Master version, the 6501? What brand of transistors do we find in here? Well, there are Sony transistors in the Channel Master too. So that's the same, but what's different in these 2 models other than the name? The Sanyo has the twin prongs, or the 2 earphone jacks, on the side, while the Channel Master has a simple single earphone jack there. The Channel Master has the rear jack for the external speaker, just as the Sanyo does, but on the Channel Master this is marked external speaker or earphone. The external power jack on the Sanyo is nowhere to be found on the Channel Master, but the Channel Master has something the Sanyo doesn't have, the word Japan on the lower right corner of the back. Of course, the Sanyo was made in Japan too, but the country of origin appears nowhere on the outside of it. What does this tell us? That the Sanyo was not made for export to the U.S., but rather for the domestic Japanese market, or for export to some other country that did not require country of origin markings on foreign products. So obviously, Sanyo-branded radios from this era are extremely rare in the United States, and that's where we came in, talking about a radio I shouldn't even have. But I like it, and I'm keeping it.